Abandoned boy has overpowered ability that can insta-kill everyone. Yogiri, despite having this insane power, is indifferent and passive. During a field trip, their class has been teleported to another world. Yogiri and his friend Tomochika explore this new realm, hoping to find a way back home. The series begins with a child with a bizarre highlight on his hair, Yogiri, searching for Asaka in some kind of research facility. He then finds her being held hostage by a girl with a gun. Clueless of what's happening, he says, "Asaka-san, I finally found you." Asaka is surprised to see Yogiri. The girl threatens to kill Asaka if Yogiri moves. However, the girl dies instantly, freeing Asaka. Our MC has this power at his early age? Asaka is so puzzled, and Yogiri, like nothing happened, suggests they go home. Both feel relieved. Hey Otaku fam, support our small channel by subscribing, like and binge watch our videos if you please. Help us make more awesome recaps. Now, let's continue. The scene shifts to Tomochika, waking Yogiri up on a bus. Yogiri realizes he had a dream about Asaka. He then asks Tomochika who she is. She introduces herself and shows him the chaos on the bus and tells him about 2 dead students. Despite the situation, Yogiri seems calm and notices a dragon-like creature outside attacking the bus. He throws a mic at it, making it release the dead student and the bus. He realizes it is a wyvern. The wyvern turns its attention to them, but Yogiri, after being bumped by something soft when the afraid Tomochika hugs him, says something to the attacking wyvern. The wyvern dies. Insta-kill. Yogiri, like nothing happened, asks Tomochika to explain the situation while playing with a gadget. She replies that while he was sleeping, they crossed a tunnel and were teleported into another world where a sage named Shion entered their bus and introduced herself. She killed their teacher for making a ruckus, and the bus driver too, for not laughing at her joke. She says, "My joke bombed and it angered me, so I killed him." She has summoned them to make them sage in this world. She installs a system called Battle Song in them to give them superpowers. However, 4 students, including Yogiri and Tomochika, didn't receive powers. The students decide to leave them behind and go to the city. The wyvern attacks after. She then makes a sarcastic remark. Someone was sleeping peacefully through the whole thing though. Yogiri suggests it should be safe outside, since Shion mentioned there was only one dragon. Tomochika asks him if he did something to the dragon, but Yogiri dodges the question. They then notice a hill, a city, and a forest, thinking of their next move. Soon, 3 classmates approach them in the air. Yogiri suggests killing them, but Tomochika disagrees. However, he warns they could be hostile. Their classmates land, revealing wicked intentions toward Tomochika. They intend to turn her into a zombie and rape her. Perv thoughts for someone who just got new powers. Ryosuke boasts his fireball skill, pushing their intention. Yogiri intervenes, pointing his finger at Ryosuke and calmly says, "Die." Ryosuke dies, and the other student checks on him, but is killed by Yogiri too. With the fat guy left, Yogiri explains his instant death to any target ability. By just thinking of wanting to kill someone, they instantly die. He also adds that hostile threats to him die as well. Isn't that an insane power? He learns from Fatso Daemon that they've been summoned to this world before to kill the Demon Lord, and there is a way to go back, and that all this is just a few hours in the real world. Daemon then wears a slave collar out of fear and puts himself under Tomochika's control, who then passes him to Yogiri. He orders him to go to the forest full of beasts, not to tell anyone about them, and leave behind all his belongings. Free loots, Tomochika wonders, and asks Yogiri why he saved her, to which he replies, "Your chests were soft?" Embarrassed and angry, Tomochika shouted, "There are no decent men in this world." Meanwhile, the sage Shion, who seems giggling while dreaming, receives a report about the situation from Yuichi. She learns about the fatalities and orders Yuichi to keep an eye on the situation. In the next scene, Tomochika and Yogiri arrive at the closest town. Tomochika notices the gates closing and rushes in with Yogiri. The guard said something they couldn't understand, and they just waited. The Lord, Masahiko, troubled by them, Yogiri asks him if he can tell them how to get to the capital since they got separated from their group. Masahiko, hesitant at first, offers to tell them if Tomochika spends a night in his mansion. What a perv! Tomochika declines and quickly drags Yogiri away. Yogiri asks her about it and replies that she was worried he might kill Masahiko. Yogiri, surprised by this notion, says, "What am I to you, a serial killer?" Tomochika sarcastically replies, she is astonished he hadn't realized this about himself before. They then explore the town. They encounter Mireyu, a cat girl, who offers them help, explaining her intentions to seduce Yogiri. Despite this, They accept her assistance. Later, Tomochika shops and acquires new clothes. Suddenly, they find themselves surrounded by hoodlums. Yogiri, unsurprised by it and Mireyu's participation, asks them what they want. The leader explains they target those without gifts, like Yogiri, for stress relief. Yogiri casually threatens to kill them, but they call it a bluff. However, when he commands them to die, they all drop dead. Yogiri even tries to kill them partially, but fails. He is even testing his abilities. Mireyu pleads and attempts to flee, but is killed as well. Town guards then arrive. Captain Edelgard questions them about the incident, and Yogiri claims they got lost and found the hoodlums already dead. Edelgard sees through the lie. Despite this, she lets them go, as Jorge says that they have no gifts. Yogiri asks Jorge for a place to stay for the night. Edelgard calls out Jorge as one of the hoodlums is still alive. Meanwhile, in the luxurious inn, Yogiri and Tomochika book separate rooms. White Tomochika is thinking in her room. A spirit resembling her sister appears. Mokomoko reveals herself as Tomochika's guardian spirit. Her role is to protect her from anything except physical attacks. She explains that she appears just now as she is afraid of Yogiri's power, as it could affect a spirit guardian like her. Tomochika is surprised, but Mokomoko urges her to inform Yogiri about her for her safety. Even a guardian spirit is afraid of our MC, huh? Mokomoko then explains she protects Tomochika from the gift to be not controlled by the sage. The next day, they meet with Celestina, the concierge, who helps them with their journey. She provides the needed items for this. They board a train to the capital. Yogiri playing on his gadget while they are discussing things. The train gets attacked as they pass through the forest, where their classmates are training. Meanwhile, in town, the guards try to interrogate the captured hoodlum, but face difficulty due to his disorientation. Lane, a vampire, examines him, but finds his blindness incurable, even inducted with her blood. Suddenly, a brave hero attacks. On the train, the duo witness a confrontation between sages and aggressors. They then discuss if Yogiri should use his power. Back in town, Ain attacked Lane but was unharmed. He reveals his disdain for the sages and initiates a powerful attack, Holy Sword Cartena, causing chaos. Back to Yogiri. He uses his powers to kill the sage being arrogant to them. Surprisingly, the aggressor approaches them showing no hostility. Back in the town, Lane survives the attack and plans to abduct Yogiri and Tomochika. Back to the duo, they learn about the aggressor's ability to return to his world, but find it impossible to bring others along. Meanwhile, the group takes a break in the forest, while the spirit gives Tomochika a weapon to use. Yogiri and Tomochika arrive at Hanabusa City, resembling Japan. Tomochika notices Yogiri looking tired and asks about his condition. Yogiri explains that he had been dealing with thieves and demons, leaving him fatigued. In the city, Tomochika notices its defense uses a barrier instead of castle walls. They arrive at a high-rise hotel. While Tomochika admires the hotel, they meet their classmate Tachibana. Surprised, Tomochika asks why he isn't with the rest of their classmates in the primeval forest. Tachibana responds confidently, "I move separately from them. There's no need for me to work with those who level up inefficiently." He introduces his lady bodyguards Erika, Stephanie, Chelsea, Euphemia, and Riza, who show hostility towards the duo. Tachibana, being a cocky one, openly proposes for Tomochika to become his mistress. His bodyguards show dismay. Tachibana, boasting his skill dominator, shares his strategy for leveling up efficiently, using his bodyguards to gain experience. Tomochika heavily declines his proposal. Meanwhile, Lane, engaged in combat with an aggressor, the Darkness, showcasing her strength against it. Back at the hotel, Tomochika noticed Yogiri had been asleep for 3 days, raising concern. She sees commotion outside, finding this world weird. Mokomoko senses potential danger while they are talking. Tomochika calls Yogiri. Yogiri, having a dream, wakes up and comes out. He senses Erika's hostility towards Tomochika and kills her. "Lady, you're trying to be sneaky, huh?" He then calls the lobby that someone collapsed in the hallway. Tachibana realizes his subordinate's demise. Being attacked by a cockroach monster, he uses his skill to make it a slave, and commands to get more allies. Analyzing the situation, he sends Riza and Chelsea after Tomochika. Meanwhile, Lane, still battling with the darkness, is unable to defeat it and keeps moving forward. Back to the duo as they try to escape. Riza appears and attacks them with ice magic but fails. While they are interrogating Riza, Chelsea tries to subdue them using dolls but fails miserably. Yogiri kills Riza, who is about to make a move. The duo gets intel from the crying kid Chelsea, who lost her will to fight. Tachibana sends a swarm of cockroaches, but Yogiri wittingly finds the source of this desire to kill through the swarm and reaches to Tachibana instead. Yogiri instantly kills him. Stephanie tries to heal her master with no success. Being released from Tachibana's control, Euphemia steps outside, leaving her only to be confronted by Lane, who uses charm and bites her and gets information from her. Now, that's unfortunate. Our duo gets out in the city and finds out that it is manifested by zombies. On Lane's side, she tells Euphemia that she is testing the limits of Yogiri's abilities. She wants to know if he can kill her. Back to the duo, Tomochika wonders, "Why is the city full of zombies?" Yogiri replies, "Their movements look slow, so I think it's possible to escape if we move cautiously." Tomochika wonders if they shouldn't help the survivors, but Yogi tells her they're not in a position to do so. Even Mokomoko agrees. Elsewhere, Ryuta asks Masayuki why he's in the city. Masayuki explains that Lane left the city entirely up to him. Ryuta asks Masayuki to take his undead army away. Masayuki refuses, stating he's acting under Lane's orders. Masayuki threatens the citizens to bring Yogiri and Tomochika to him. Back to the pair, they're hiding from the people who are pursuing them. Yogi thinks because he killed a sage. Yogi senses an imminent threat and sees the residents closing and ends up killing one. He gets pissed with Masayuki, but thinks of negotiating in the plaza. Reaching the plaza, they talk to Masayuki. Unwilling to come to terms, Masayuki challenges them, but Yogi effortlessly defeats his immortal core. Our MC can kill even the undead. He eventually kills the stubborn Masayuki before he fully transforms. Now that's cold. Ryuta, the city's leader, tries to make peace and save the city. Yogiri senses an intent to kill from all directions towards them. Lane's eagerness to test Yogiri from afar uses the city's people. She then clones herself and Yogiri detects stronger hostility. As the darkness approaches the city, Yogiri tries to kill it. Lane's clones then rain down from the sky, wreaking havoc. Tomochika can see through the attack, and Yogiri devises a plan to counter Lane's attacks. With Ryuta's help, they teleported to a strategic location to anticipate her moves. With the combined ability of the duo and Mokomoko, they ultimately destroy Lane's clones. He was then eventually able to kill her with some delay from the clones to the source. Meanwhile, a girl awakens in a coffin, listening to Lane's message, explaining her survival strategy against Yogiri. The group then makes their way to the capital through a truck lent by Ryuta. Back at the Sage Candidates camp, a samurai Ryuko discovers troubling developments regarding Yogi's activities from Carol, an American ninja. While talking about monitoring Yogiri, a notification alerts them of the opening of Alpha Omega First Door, causing panic among the group. What could this be? Back to the duo, Tomochika is driving on a mountain road and notices a rock blocking their path. She tries to wake up the sleeping Yogiri, who is dreaming about Asaka. The story shifts to the past, showing Asaka's job interview at the lab, talking to Yuko. Despite learning about the dangers, Asaka agrees to work there. Yuko explains their research and experimentation on curses and informs her of her assignment, taking care of Alpha Omega, who's residing in an underground vault. Asaka, now in charge of Alpha Omega's care, meets a child. Seeing him locked up, she carries him outside and throws him, nagging, "You're just gonna obediently stay locked up?" Also points out that he should be outside playing. Young Yogiri sees a ghost-like figure behind Asaka and kills it. He calls it a devil that tries to kill him sometimes. She introduces herself, and the child says he is Alpha Omega, with a former name, Lord Okakushi, before being in the facility. Our MC is the Alpha Omega. Both hungry, she attempts to cook for him while he is bathing. They bond over instant ramen, and Asaka then names him Yogiri Takatu. Meanwhile, in the present, Tomochika struggles with the mountain road and encounters dragons. Yogiri effortlessly deals with the threats, including a golden dragon. The dragon says, "You pass," and runs away. Yogiri, knowing they can communicate, calls out and threatens it. The dragon stopped in the air. It turns out to be a shape-shifting child who tests those who are worth meeting the sword master, who wants to meet qualified candidates. Yogiri, not interested, gets swayed when the child offers to lead them to the capital if they meet the swordsmater. She introduces herself as Attila. She leads them to meet the swordmaster, Urabi, who oversees a deadly competition to select the Knights of the Divine King. Participants are instructed to fight until only half remain. Amidst the chaos, Yogiri and Tomochika meet Rick and Linnell, who give insights about the Divine King and their own experiences. Linnell also shares about his apology stone that can heal him and give luck depending on the situation. That a weird way to get stones. He also explains how the gacha works, giving him random items and getting more stones depending on the misfortunes he incurred on a day. As the group advances, they encounter barriers and witness a frozen tableau of the Divine King and the Dark God. Frederica, a mage among them, attempts to attack the Dark God, but fails due to the time distortion inside the barrier. The selection process begins with participants tasked to reach the first floor of the tower within 24 hours. Tomochika wonders if Yogiri's abilities can defeat the Dark God, and Yogiri shares something with her, leaving her so surprised. What he whispered. On their way to enter the tower to reach the bottom floor, Frederica tries to use the stone. What an unlucky dude. Linnell opens a door and goes in, but the door closes, and they hear him scream. That's 2 in a row! They go in and see Teresa inside. Rick looking surprised, she tells him she is participating in the trial to earn points. Rick told everyone to run away, but Tomochika noticed they couldn't because the room was filled with thin wires. Teresa starts attacking with her threads, claiming that a Knight of the Divine King must be the strongest. As Rick struggles, Yogiri intervenes with Dai, shocking everyone. Tomochika finds Lionel on the floor, about to die, and begging for the crystal in his dismembered arm. The group reaches floor 98, and a girl receptionist informs them that it is a safe area to rest. Rick and Lionel ask for rooms, and Tomochika and Yogiri are left alone with just one available room. In the room together, Tomochika is worried, but Yogiri just changes into his pajamas, go to bed looking tired and unconcerned. What to be worried about, girl? Meanwhile, in his room, Lionel waits for his stones. At midnight, due to the 20th anniversary event, he is surprised to get 100 instead of 10. He uses gacha, and the goddess who sent him into this world appears. Feeling lucky, she will be her partner. She says she is just there to see his progress and update his respawn point if he dies again. Still unlucky, bro. Meanwhile, the Swordmaster wants to know about the trial's progress. The girl worries about the number of dead not matching the number of souls. In another place, Rikuto and Ayo are fighting, cancelling each other's magic. Rikuto tries to use his sword, but Ayo dodges and kills him with a knife. The knife reveals her new mission, to go to Hanabusa and kill Yogiri and Tomochika. On her way, Fatso Daimon comes running and begs to make him her servant. In the duo's room, Tomochika wakes up first, finding Yogiri indulging in his dreams on her chest. Those must be some nice dreams. Mokomoko, stuck halfway through the wall, asks for help. She got sucked on the wall while peeping on the two. Yogiri wakes up and touches the wall to target the absorption and activates his skill, freeing the Mokomoko. He warns Tomochika to be prepared to kill anyone hostile without hesitation. Meanwhile, Aoi is at the canyon and encounters a golden dragon. Fatso is scared for his life. However, she doesn't think a huge dragon can fly. Suddenly, the dragon falls, and she reveals her ability to change events as long as she believes in them. Aggressor Hedgehog slices the dragon's head off and starts absorbing the dragon's intel and leaves. Ayo notices a tower from afar and decides to check it for Yogiri. Fatso refuses, fearing he'll be killed by Yogiri. Meanwhile, the duo makes progress in the tower, killing tricks and riddles. Iglacia, the creator of the tower, suddenly appears and accuses them of cheating. Yogiri tries to negotiate, but ends up killing him and moves on. Cold as ice. Rick reaches 100 points after defeating a random opponent. He finds Linnell and his friend there. Meanwhile, the duo reaches an arena where 2 girls are fighting, and they see Masaki sitting on a throne with 2 girls beside him. Yogiri decides they'll advance quickly since the fight doesn't concern them. When Masaki urges the opponent to get serious, the opponent reveals herself as a half-demon and attacks the rabbit girl. Yogiri asks Masaki to let them pass, but he refuses. Masaki sees this as a chance to watch a 3-on-1 fight. He agrees to let them pass if Yogiri wins. The half-demon worries about the other girl's strength, but the guy reveals the rabbit girl is his weakest apprentice. He orders his girls to kill Yogiri and spare the rest, but they collapse as Yogiri uses his ability. Masaki, lying in making them pass, was killed by Yogiri as well. The half-demon girl asks if Yogiri is the one who killed everyone. He confirms it, and she begs for his help. Tomochika wants to hear her out. My name is Theodisha, and I'm searching for my sister, she says. The white-hair girl requests her plead and tries to join the couple to advance in the tower. Yogiri and Tomochika agree to take her as they are already on the Swordmaster's bad side. Suddenly, Hero Rick, Crybaby Linnell, and hot-headed Frederica arrive and join them. They all go to a hall where the Swordmaster awaits them. He announces 17 passed, and it is the end of level 1. Suddenly, his disciples warn him of the breach in the first barrier, and bang! A huge bright explosion. A boy with wings is flying in the air with incredible miasma, or power that is. The Swordmaster commands them that it is their first task as a Knight of the Divine King to kill that thing if they want to survive, while Yogiri suggests his group to flee and search instead. It would be an inconvenience to show his power here. Okay, it makes sense. The others try to fight the winged boy, but are instantly killed by some unknown power. Frederica conjures super compressed extreme light burst, but it is neutralized by the enemy easily. One more weird-looking guy appears from the back. He introduces themselves as Organe and Lute. Frederica attacks again, but ends up in horror as Lute transforms her staff as well as her arm into sweet. Linnell, out of desperation, uses his ability. Thankfully, he's able to summon the goddess Vahanato. Vahanato promises to take care of things, but in all confusion, Organe is bowing down while Lute is hugging the goddess. She clears up the situation by saying, "By taking care, I mean wiping humanity." What? Meanwhile, our group is stuck in a magical loop of stairs, but after a shriek, the loop is suddenly disabled. Theodosia, sensing her people's magic, rushes towards a room, and in all horror, she sees her people being drained of their magic. Her only relief is that her sister isn't there. She ends their suffering. Yogiri decides to go up to assess the situation. Upstairs, the Swordmaster makes Rick the next Swordmaster if he dies here. Lionel, being a loser as always, tries to be a hero and distracts Vahanato to buy the others some time. Vahanato tells him her scheme since they have a nice relationship, to release her darling from the barrier, Lord Albagarma, the Demon Lord. She sent all sorts of messengers and found out he was sealed away here. However, no matter how much she tried, she could never defeat the Swordmaster. So this time, she used Lionel's bad luck to free him. His bad luck is like a superpower now. As the barrier disappears, Vahanato checks in a magical mirror. In extreme pleasure, she sees the creator of the barrier and even the goddess killer. Both are dead. Guess who killed them? The goddess takes a heart-shaped barrier's core from a portal and destroys it, breaking the barrier. Our heroes also arrive on the scene, and in a very anticlimactic way, the Demon Lord just falls into the stream, showing he is dead. Tomochika scolds Yogiri for killing the Dark God, and Yogiri explains it was on reflex. Really now? Theodosia beheads the Swordmaster and explains she sees her chance. Well, Rick, you got a promotion. Vahanato is then stabbed by the random blade monster that just goes around stabbing people. After absorbing information from her, it just flies away. Lute heals her, and Vahanato rampages. Organe picks up the Dark Lord and thinks of sacrificing the humans to revive him. As all the demons attack the humans, the Divine King protects the lame group. Out-flirtatious MC gets both the girls closer to him, and then kill Organe with all his demons while hiding. He doesn't kill the goddess as she's just a stupid love-struck bird, and bears no hostility towards him. The scene shifts to Aoi and Damon, who are on the way to the tower. Being safe from all the magic because of plot armor, of course. Aoi comes to Rick to ask for Yogiri and tells the dumbass about how he is the Swordmaster now and to just kill Vahanato with his holy word, Ors. He acts fast and just stabs her, killing her. Aoi tries to find Yogiri, and as soon as she does, she's flabbergasted at how powerful he is. Yogiri is the final destination of all fates. Aoi is scared beyond belief, ditching Damon and scramming away. Yogiri questions Damon about the collar he put on him, scaring him even more. After everything's over, Rick questions Theodosia, and Yogiri intervenes by saying, "If you still want vengeance, I'll help you, Theodosia." Rick respectfully asks Yogiri, "What can you do with your lack of ability?" Then the wise knight stops Rick as she explains that it is Yogiri who killed both the Dark God and his army. Rick is impressed and asks Yogiri about his next path. It looks like everyone is headed toward the capital. Theodosia says she needs to find her sister, Euphemia. Yogiri and Tomochika tell her that they heard that name on their way here. Rick offers to travel together, but our Riz God MC only wants to travel with Tomochika, and Yogiri gets pendants from Rick to be used if they run into trouble in the capital. Everyone embarks, leaving Diamond behind. He is then being bullied by Lute. Poor fatty. The scene shifts to Sage Sion, and she worries about Yogiri. To get her questions answered, he summons one of Yogiris's companions. He is ecstatic at the news that Yogiri is far away from their world, but suddenly, he is killed by some self-destruct sequence. Sion wonders, "Yogiri, just what in the world are you?" The episode starts with the voice from a system to the scene where it all started. The girl lying dead suddenly wakes up. Ayaka is informed that she is now an android, and must act quickly. They shut down the limiter and tell her to devour Abyss Mass. The girl starts devouring the dragon outside like a glutton. The scene shifts to the Alpha Omega's daycare. Asaka cooks for our young MC. Don't mind the fact that she does an awful job. Yogiri hates the food, but still must finish it, because apparently it's unattractive for men not to like a girl cooking. On top of that, she also gives Yogiri basic elementary education. As they are doing so, a robot brings in the groceries, and Asaka starts demanding stuff for the robot to bring, even a puppy. Both Asaka and Yogiri go outside. Asaka is amazed at the views, as this is an underground laboratory. Asaka later talks to the higher-ups. They really love her work and are desperate for her to not leave, and hence give her a big raise. Usually, Yogiri kills the new workers on day 1. Asaka, being frustrated, asks for a vacation. We then see Asaka waking up in a cell. She's confused and remembers that she spent almost all of her pay on a single trip, but somehow got drunk enough to end up here. A voice on the intercom tells her that she has a few questions to ask. Little Yogiri is missing Asaka and plans on going to find her. He asks the robot, who replies that she's on vacation. He wants to go where she is. The robot points him to a door where there are scientists behind. Yogiri asks the scientists to open the door, and as the head scientist arrives, everyone is dead. And whoever tries to stop the lady helping Yogiri dies. Yogiri asks about Asaka's whereabouts. When he's told that she has been captured by the agency, he plans on rescuing her. The next scene brings the agency's building in flames. A scene from episode 1 connects here. Make sure you have watched from the start. They plan on attacking Yogiri unseen, but still end up in his instant death's grasp. The head woman holds Asaka at gunpoint and tells Yogiri to stay away, but ends up dead. Yogiri unites with Asaka, and both return to their sanctuary. Asaka talks with the scientist. They need Asaka to remain there, and Yogiri will face no repercussions. Well, as if there's much that they can do to him. Asaka agrees to stay there for the time being. The scene changes to the current time. Tomochika talks with Mokomoko. Mokomoko can clearly read on Tomochika's face that she's a sucker for Yogiri. Then Yogiri wakes up, most probably hearing all of their talk. When they have reached the capital, they find themselves surrounded by guards. They are interrogated, and they tell them that they are sage candidates. They check for their gifts. As they are getting suspicious, Yogiri shows them the pendant that Rick gave him. All of them bow in front of them. The amulet has the royal family crest on top of it. However, a guy named David appears opposing them going in. David is the youngest in the royal family and proposes a duel. If they win, they can go in. Tomochika is hesitant at first, but Yogiri assures her that he's got her back. Tomochika and David have a standoff. Tomochika, using her inherited techniques, kicks him in the balls. Wasn't it supposed to be a sword fight? Anyways, everyone is amazed as they win. They go in and David offers to guide them. David shows them around town, and after a brief discussion is shooed away from Yogiri as they have to meet their class fellows. What a cold shoulder. They go into a big hall where all the sage candidates are gathered. The king of Mani makes a grand entrance. As he's telling them about their second mission, he is interrupted by a moron Shinya, who in turn gets his fingers chopped clean off. What did you expect, bud? The king then says, for you to become sages, you must accomplish a great achievement. That's our recap for today. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe, like, and enable the notification bell.